Check, check, check. Mic check. We still doing this? We still on Hangouts? This for real?
Check, check, check.
Microphone sounds good. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Finks, and whoa. This is your boy Finks. Sorry about that. I think you guys hear me loud and clear. Welcome back. We got another episode for you guys. Just want to be live for a minute because I had some afterthoughts, some post-fight thoughts. But let me cue the music as always. Hold on a second. As always, hold on a second. Yes, sir. We're back, at least for now. Hangouts on air. Google Hangouts.
What is going on, guys?
Whoa. So yeah, Google Hangouts is still a thing. Maybe I'll try tomorrow, but we'll see. As long as Google Hangouts is up and going, then I'm gonna be live streaming and trying to probably end up doing more Hangouts because I don't really want to change. I like the way things are. But anyways, I wanted to just get my thoughts out. Let me just read a paragraph from the newest update from TBRB, Transnational Boxing Rankings. And they say 30th of July, so a couple days ago. They actually updated pretty quickly. Junior welterweight division was the scene of a fight to remember on Saturday night. Third ranked, Jose Carlos Ramirez. So pause. I'm going to say, I think, I have the rankings up, but pretty sure. Oh, no. So, yeah, at the time, before the fight, Ramirez was their third. Pretty sure Josh Taylor was their second. And the way it is right now, Regis Prograis is still at first. So I thought that the final would give us a lineal champion. And I'm going to get more into this, I guess, I'm trying to make this a quick stream. So let me continue. Third ranked, Jose Carlos Ramirez dropped number 5 ranked Maurice Hooker in the first round and then stopped him in the 6th in a shootout that could well be in the running for Fight of the Year. Ramirez, in the opinion of a clear majority of members, now deserves to be number 2 based on that win, overtaking the talented Josh Taylor. Hooker drops to 7. Okay, well, this is where I think I'm going to start diverging a little bit. The longer I do this, the more I might get into my sort of rankings and start diverging from even like the historians on TBRB and Cyber Zone, Cyber Boxing Zone. But those are my some of my resources. Didn't do too much, research before this video. You guys heard my prediction video. If you didn't, it wasn't really a prediction, more as like looking back at it, I kind of just went on a limb. I thought the crazy opinion was that Maurice Hooker would actually get a KO. That was my crazy opinion. But I finally just settled on, I thought Maurice would go the distance and maybe get a points win. but I had mentioned throughout the video it's a 50-50 fight. Uh, they were pretty close on the odds. I think Ramirez, and most people were still picking Ramirez. I wasn't well, he's was one of my favorite fighters, but I had seen him sort of plateau a little bit. And maybe the brawling style was something that he would have to change a little bit, or at least show different dimensions of it. Um, so I saw him sort of not trending downwards, but trending trending even at least. But people thought that maybe one of the last two fights he might have lost. Um, Favorable scorecards, blah blah blah. Maurice Hooker, I've seen him sort of get a little better. I think I overrated his more recent wins. But nevertheless, I thought maybe this was the time for him to come out of this fight and impress. Um, However, the way the fight came out, Maurice Hooker might have been dropped once, might have not been dropped at all, might have been a slip. He might have been dropped twice in the first round. It was called a knockdown, so he got one knockdown, as you guys read from or what I read from TBRB. Um, Maurice Hooker dropped once and then stopped in the sixth. Um, if I was more rational in my prediction video, I would have just stuck with Ramirez. But I was giving Maurice a chance, and he decided to come out with his worst game plan, or at least his worst performance in his career. And Jose Ramirez, nothing taken from him. He came out with the best performance of his career. Um, he definitely turned the ship around from, I'd like to see that Jose Ramirez versus the same guys that gave him hell, that he went the distance with, because I at least expected a distance. I'm sure a few people picked a knockout by Jose Ramirez, but I thought a decision was by either guy. I mean, if you're picking Ramirez, I think he was the betting favorite. But I think the safe pick was, the decision. I think the knockout in the sixth was nothing anyone predicted, and it was the best performance, the best I've ever seen. I would have loved to have seen that Jose Ramirez versus Amir Imam, because that's exactly what it looked like. I'm just sort of a little flabbergasted by what Maurice Hooker was doing, because it should have well have been Amir Imam in there. Maybe Amir has a better chin. I know Maurice Hooker had trouble making the weight in the last fight, I think. I'm not sure about this fight. I don't think he did. But it was a great fight. TBRB called it potential fight of the year. I think, Maurice Hooker gave us a good fight. He stepped toe to toe, but I was hoping he'd box a little. But he was just getting mauled from the first round. You saw the knockdown. No one expected an early knockdown like that, I don't think. No one expected a knockout in the sixth. Just a stunning performance by Ramirez. TBRB has him number 2 now. I don't know why they wouldn't just go ahead and give him the number 1. I'm not sure what Regis Prograis had done, in my opinion, to go over Josh Taylor. I think Josh Taylor has the best resume, the better champions defeated. He beat a post-all. I don't think Regis has a post-all. He has the Ndongo, but Ndongo the goat, Ndongoat. So yeah, if you guys are still listening, or if you're listening in the future, thumbs it up. Write a comment, say good things, say bad things. I'll probably delete it if it's terrible and it's not boxing relevant. But yeah, man, while Hangouts is still going, while Google Hangouts is still going, still a thing, then I will be live streaming on YouTube. Please, YouTube, keep it up. We don't want to lose the Hangouts. Anything else about this fight? in my rankings, I think I had said before. Um, I had said before that. Sorry, I said a lot of things before. I had said before that I wasn't sure if Ramirez, or the winner of the fight, if Ramirez would be number one, even as unified. I still, the Maurice Hooker that came out that night is possibly the worst, let alone champion, is probably the worst fighter in the tournament. Who we have in was Postal? No, Postal. Maybe Mike Reed versus Maurice Hooker. Who is that? The guy? Put somebody in there with Maurice Hooker because I'm really not sure what he was up to that night. Put him in there with maybe an Orozco or what's the other guy Ramirez fought, because he needs to brawl with somebody, or he needs to fight another brawler like that and see if the Maurice Hooker train was just a mirage or something. I really thought he was a stronger champion, but that game plan he had that night, maybe in another fight in a rematch, but I think he took the defeat well, like a champion. If anything, I'll say that. And Maurice Hooker is a family man, I believe. I think he's got about 10 children, from what I heard. Maybe fact or fiction, but not a big deal. I'm just happy after the week that we had last week with a couple deaths in the ring. That our sport was just clean and everyone's safe, and this one was just a TKO. I think the refs saw enough. Maurice Hooker was getting pieced up for sure. But yeah, man, great fight. Definitely a good fight for Ramirez. Not the best fight for Hooker. Gave us all a good fight, but not the fight that Maurice's fans would have wanted to see. Again, I'm a fan of Maurice, but I was originally a bigger fan of Ramirez. And after that performance, I'm back, baby. Let's go. So that's my timer. That's my time. Any afterthoughts? Yes, there's a man called Dillian White, and he made news for popping on a UCAD UK anti-doping test after the fight with Rivas. Um, I originally was just chatting in different hangouts saying this maybe would be a no contest if this is true, and things today. Vada came out saying that he was clean on their test, so there's some discrepancy. WBC ended up just taking Dillian White out of uh, their interim champion status, and blah blah blah. The WBC doing things, and these sanctioning bodies. I shouldn't just say. I should just call them the sanctioning body for that belt, because they're all one and the same. They should just unify and become one corrupt happy family. That's not what we need, but I at least want some unified rules. I want a federation, or we need like a league. We need rules, and we need everyone, because it's an international sport, and even different states have different rules and blah blah blah. And that's why I didn't want to do this live about all that steroid talk. And because I haven't gone live in a while, Ramirez versus Hooker um, definitely deserves some praise. Man, I mean, Ramirez beat a champion. So did for every hooker, especially the hooker we had the other, the hooker we had the other night. That hooker versus Kirill Relic. That's a 50-50 fight. That's up in the air. Kirill Relic didn't look the best. I don't think he got knocked out though against Regis Prograis. He at least lasted the distance. And then my man, why am I forgetting his name? The Beast, Ivan Baranchik. He would piece up Maurice Hooker if that's the style Maurice wants to fight. Kirill Relic is more of a boxer, good stamina. maybe even a Postal. Maybe Hooker would find the boxer in himself against a Postal, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about. But I wouldn't change anything until we get Josh Taylor versus Relic. Sorry, against Progray. I wouldn't have changed anything because now we have one more step before a recognized lineal champion. I think because the tournament was a thing happening, and because Hooker didn't even join the tournament either. These guys, we weren't getting a complete fighter from the career that they were having. But entering the tournament, we got to see these guys have to do it, and now one versus one, the best of the tournament are fighting each other. And before the tournament, people wanted to see Prograis versus Taylor. Now after the tournament, still facts, and they had tough fights in that tournament. So I don't think Ramirez needs to move up. I think he had a performance that puts him right on par with those guys. I guess what I'm saying is if it was Prograis versus Ramirez and Josh Taylor lost the turn, if they were all in the tournament, Ramirez versus the next guy should be for lineage. We should Ramirez should either be in the final at this point, or I don't need TPRB to tell me that he's number two, and now I have to wait for another fight. Obviously, we want to see all the fights, but that's the way they do it. I suppose I'll think about it, and maybe we don't need a lineal champion right away, but it kind of, in my sort of system, once we have the 1 and 2 fight each other, then I don't really care about the belts in that division. And like I always say, if we get a lineal champion in my system, then I would have the other belt holders mail their belts or toss them in the trash and send a contract over to the number one guy. And that's it. So that's it for my stream. Congratulations, Ramirez. The tournament's not doing so hot though. We still don't have a date, but the 140 part of it's been amazing. Inoue versus Nonito Donaire also has to get made. Waiting for that to happen. So if you guys are listening now or in the future, again, hit the thumbs up if you like the content of the video. Leave a comment to let me know what you thought about the subject. Maurice Hooker versus Jose Carlos Ramirez for the unification at 140 pounds. Anything else? Man, can't wait for these fights to pan out at 140. If there's anything else, we'll get back to it. Let me just go to boxing scene while I'm here. Then I'll take a breather. Andy Ruiz, Joshua rematch details to come out pretty soon. Hey man, sounds good to me, man. Can't wait to hear it. Spike O'Sullivan, I don't really know. We'll just continue going down. Kawanaki fighting this weekend. Not really excited about that. We've had more heavyweight news than we can shake a fist at. Michael Conlon comes back this weekend. Joseph Parker. The text on my screen is super small. Teofimo, potential delay in Comey title fight pursuit. Why? No. I don't want to hear about bad news. Ramirez will fight Postal or Jack Catterall next. Catterall, what's he doing nowadays, Jack Catterall? I'll admit I do not know much about this man. Oh, he is undefeated. England. Send him over to England, man. Why not? Postal, he's twice recycled. Go beat the undefeated Catterall, man. See if the 140 pounders in the UK have something. Just go over there and beat some 140 pound UK dudes. Jose Ramirez. Go night. Yeah, man, I'm getting excited now, dude. I'm glad the Hooker fight came through. I can't stand this last name, but it's a thing that had to happen. I really want Ramirez to, stay humble and just stay hungry. The old adage, just stay hungry and don't change anything. If you wanted to be aggressive, if you were telling boxing scene that you were going to be more aggressive in this fight and that you were going to knock Hooker out, and keep that attitude, man. Because there's undefeated 140 pounders in the UK and in the Bayou, and dude, man, the division's hype, man. What else, man? What else do we got? Derevyanchenko. Does he still think he has the Canelo fight? Does Beeble think so? These are all things I really don't want to talk about. I only want to talk about the positive things in boxing and things like Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman. I don't care. I'd get my pick wrong every day, all day, if I could get that type of fight. I got Julian Williams on my screen in an ad. I'd get that fight versus Hurd any day. Give me that fight any day, every day, Monday through Friday, twice on a Saturday, 3 times on a Sunday. Wilder lashes out at White. This is what I'm talking about, man. We don't need no negativity. You got grown men with an inch of leather and their between that their fists and someone else's face. I don't think we need any more negativity. Let's go. Virgil Ortiz versus Antonio Orozco. When is that? Give me that. Give me that. August 10th. Let's go, dudes. That's next week. Oh my god, and I'm possibly looking at the best t-shirt I've ever seen. Who is this man? Is this I'm sorry. Hold on. Maybe his shirt will divulge some in I'm looking at photos of man, my man has a Van Gogh style stormtrooper painted on his t-shirt. It's too much. It's who am I looking at, man? I think this is Virgil Ortiz. That's who the photos are of. My man likes art and he likes Star Wars and the original Star Wars. And I'm not talking about episode 1, 2, and 3. All right, gents. Thanks so much for listening. If you've gotten this far, hit the bell icon because you know you like the content. Okay, we're gonna keep doing hangouts on Google, live on air. Don't change a thing. Just pretend like you never saw anything. All right, bless up.